Hey guys, Marc here. I am down in the Sheep River Valley as always, and my mission to try and finish off this valley. Winter gates are closed, so I go right up to the winter gate, turn left, came down. I'm not sure what this would be called. The Sandy McNabb campground parking lot. Anyway, you turn left at the gate, you drive all the way down past the campground and right down to the bottom where it's kind of a day use area and a spot to camp, not a spot to park, to go and do some hikes. Okay, purple one as always. Okay, I haven't been back in this area in like 2.5 years. So I'm here, not Winnie Point, I'm here. I've only really done one hike back here. I went and did this price camp around like that and then walked back. This one I want to come down here. I would like to finish off all of number 8 and just go here and just kind of tag like I've come from this direction when I did Green Mountain. I came up here and then I would head back, and I have an all trails trail downloaded to go up and do Mount Mcnabb, and then come down roughly about here-ish and come back. See how that works out, you know? I want to finish this trail off. I'm trying to set this area up for I can go do a backpack and finish off everything else that needs to be done back here, like back here and stuff. Like this here, this is mine, all right? I put that in there. That's a place to camp. Yeah, so, I mean, it's almost mid-December. I'm just trying to bang off whatever I can for the next 2-3 months, right? All right, some new gear. So I went and bought another one of these. It's not falling apart like the other one was. It's bigger, and I'm just wondering if it's even going to keep anything warm, right? I'll put it underneath. I got my headlamp in there. I'm going to put it underneath the sweater, underneath the jacket. We'll see how it does. Honestly, it's quite nice out here. I don't think I need it at the moment, right? But I still do want to test it, so. All right, one more gear thing. As you can see, I brought along the snowshoes. Based on this, I think I'm leaving them here. I think it'll be okay. Okay, first thing I gotta do is head down to the river. Know yourself, know your gear, know the trail. Let's talk a little safety. I'm doing pretty well as far as taking care of these hikes now. I've been doing this all fall, right? So it shouldn't be too tough. The gear we talked about, I always have my Garmin in reach and by myself. I have hot chocolate now every time, which I think is both, it's a comfort thing and a safety thing. I have food, of course, I have water. And yeah, I know the trail. I know a big chunk of this trail now, right? I really do. I have ice cleats too, by the way. So I already went and did price camp, even though that was like 2.5 years ago. And yeah, we'll figure this out. I have the guide and I have that all trails track, which I really don't recommend having only an all trails track. I think there's too many people who do that, but it could be it's a good little backup. It's not a bad little thing. Okay, this is my first task, is to cross the river. Boy, there's a lot of water flow, more than I thought there'd be. A lot of it's frozen. So the key is to see if I can't find like frozen stuff that seems safe to walk on, right? So I'll have to be quite careful with this. So you want to get stuff that's not in the sun like that, right? That is getting, I guess, the sun a bunch every day. Over here, there's a lot more shade. So there's a lot less sun hitting it. And besides, I think I need to get up to that. So, yeah. And there's a couple of distinct crossings here, right? There's one kind of lands over there. on the other side of this, whatever that is. And there's this one that comes over here. I think this will be okay here. All right, I don't really like this after all. You kind of break through this little top section and then you're into, not water, but kind of a water in between layer. So you break through every single time and hit a bottom layer, which really is not, yeah. I'm gonna try up here. Let's see here, you know. See footprints going down there. Maybe they did the same thing as me. They just went down and tested it. Okay. Same kind of thing. This is a little sketchy all around. All right, well, I don't think it's deep. Worst case scenario is I break through, I go down to my knees or something. Figure this out. This hike could be over before I get started. Oh, that was straight up creepy. All right, over here I should be able to just cross right there and make my way over to this. I would have put that on camera, but I wanted to, I mean, you want both your hands free if something happens. And I wanted to be pretty careful. All right. How do we get across this and get over to that? It looks like I have to walk on that ice. Sweet. Okay, so the top layer broke and I got into like 2 inches of water. So 2 things would happen here. One, I would definitely go over there and get my feet wet, right? Because I'd be breaking through the top layer. Or 2, I would just fall right through the bottom layer too. I think I'm gonna go and get my way up this thing. Screw that. Okay. I've been called reckless in the past, and that could be construed as reckless. So be very careful doing that. There's footprints over here. Other people have done this too, but I mean, they're not putting it on YouTube for others to follow. So be careful doing that, man. Don't kill yourself trying to do what I did. I mean, even coming out here at the same time of year next year doesn't mean you'll make it across, right? Okay, let's go do this. Man, the sun hitting the snow, it carries its own beauty. There's something about winter hiking that you can't get in the summer, right? Lots of negatives, cold, all that fun stuff, but the snow and the sun is beautiful. I remember this drift fence. Well, my new equipment, you know, I've got it on under here, but it kind of pushes out the bottom. It's too big, it pushes out too far. How do you keep a phone from freezing on trail? I mean, before I started experimenting with this, I would just take a Ziploc bag and throw the phone down my shirt. I would have to make sure the shirt was tucked in. And every time I wanted to shoot video, it was a process, right? Drag it out, take it out, shoot, and then, you know, re-tuck in my shirt, everything, throw it back in. So now I'm trying to do these stupid, yeah, I forget the name of them. The first one worked, but it wasn't big enough to hold my headlight, which has batteries, which you don't want to freeze again and again and again. It's just not big enough to hold my headlight and my phone. This one is big enough, but it's pushing out my jacket too far. So if it's not getting the warmth from my body, then nothing's happening, right? I might as well just throw everything in my jacket pocket. Well, at least all I paid for this one, just like the other one, was like $4 at Value Village. So not a big deal as far as failed experiments go. Last time I came up this trail, it was mud, puddles. I was out here in the spring. So it was basically several kilometers. Big long game of hopscotch. Not real pleasant, so I don't recommend coming in here in the spring. A lot nicer now. I remember this from last time when I did Price Camp. This is really the only part that's confusing. This appears to be a trail that keeps going here. Actually, you go up here, so that's some kind of old mystery trail. All right, up here we go. You can see there's a ribbon and orange diamond, and oh yeah. That's looking back on what I just did. Not a lot of climb, but there's some. Just climbing through the forest. I'm about a kilometer away from the intersection with the Mount Mcnabb trail in the book, and then I start blazing up new trail that I haven't seen before. Okay, that took an hour. Time to take a little break, drink some water, do some reading about this trail, and then go see some new stuff. Another thing I have broken out for the first time this year is my snow pants. These are like, geez, I don't know, $170, maybe $200, but it means I can sit down in the snow and I just don't care. They're not going to get wet. Well, I'm going to have to rethink my stuff. This trail is 7.5 kilometers from here. That's a lot. I think I'm not going to be trying for Mount Mcnabb after all. I think I will walk all the way up this trail and all the way back here. That is 15 kilometers because I don't want to come down Mount Mcnabb in the dark with a headlamp. That's, no. I can make that decision when I come back to where I would do an attempt at Mount Mcnabb, but I'm already thinking no. I don't mind walking back down that trail in the dark with a headlamp, but not, yeah, I don't think I want to come down a mountain like that. All right, there's a flat, muddy section, which is just fine in this snow. And now there's a climb of 122 meters. So I got some work to do. I think I might almost have this pass beat. Looks like I might level out just up here. There's a couple of footprints too that are coming back towards this other direction and nothing going up. So I think they came from Mount Mcnabb, came down here, intercepted this, and then came back this way. See where they end up, see where they stop. This is also a scout for if I decide to do that trail one day. I want to mark where these guys came out. All right, I think I'm done the pass. It's only like 10 meters long. You're already heading back down. So I marked this spot. If I come back up here and decide to do Mount Mcnabb, this is where I would take off, right? These footprints appear to be coming from down here. So I wonder where these guys came from. Did they walk down that road, down to some farther trail, and then come back this way? I don't know how they would have accomplished that. Anyway, kind of interesting. Well, a lot of mud on this one too. If it's, I don't know if it's the horses, you know, that's a horse campground on the other side. So I know a lot of horse parties come down here. Look at this. You would have problems getting around this normally. Or if this is all the cows, it's probably both. But this trail is pretty muddy and torn up. Well, the trail is pleasant now. Okay. The tracks. They go down here. Did someone like hike along to Price Camp and then make their own trail back up this way? How interesting. These are mine. I went down here and I saw that those tracks had vanished. So it was just like, oh, hello, where'd they go? And I expected them to go up there, but nope. Well, amazing what people come up with. See now, it's just me on this thing. All right. Interesting. Okay. Finally broke out into something. You can see here there's a ribbon. And this is some kind of gully for some kind of creek. I think it might be Coal Creek. Okay, this is the side valley of Coal Creek. And I found the footprints again. You know, I came out up there. That's really not easy to spot. So those guys went down there a little too far, and then they cut up through the forest and refound the trail. So the mystery of the footprints continues. This is nice. All right, eventually I'm supposed to cross this, but look how steep it gets over here. Interesting. All right, I'm having problems. I followed those footprints. They eventually went up there. That's no good. That's not where I'm going. It's not where I want to go. There's a game trail all along here, but that's normal. That's not the trail. I'm supposed to find red markers on the other side here. I have to cross this properly. I can't just start bushing it. So I gotta head back and see what I can figure out here. All right, I'm back to where I popped out of the forest. I can't seem to find any red markers, but I see a little something over there. This would be the easiest place to come down across, right? So all that steep stuff over there, that doesn't make any sense. Red markers, apparently. You can't always trust footprints, right? Because those footprints went in the wrong direction, and then if you followed mine, they would go down there and then turn around and come back. So you have to be quite wary. Footprints are great until they're not great. All right, I'm seeing part of the problem now. I had a blonde moment. For some reason, I thought that upstream was that way. No, this is going downhill. That's downstream. So I was supposed to turn right after coming out of the forest. And I see old tracks going up into this, so... Plus, it is on Maps.me that there's a trail back here. So let's see. Let's see what happens. All right, I guess I found it. I just kind of crossed, started walking downstream a bit farther, and I found something pretty open in the bush. And oh, and there we go. There's also a diamond. Okay, that was totally unclear. I had to just kind of figure all that out. Okay. And here's footprints again. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with that. Whatever. I feel like these are separate footprints now. I'll never know. But I found the trail. That's all that matters. Not bad. Not bad at all. Cool. So this is another little area of confusion. I walked out down there. I just had to climb up this and see this view. In the book it says, caution, don't follow the obvious game trail. That's right there. So don't follow that, and that would carry on into those bushes, right? So look way down the grassy draw to the left for red markers. So basically you walk down this. Up here, you can see a few little ledges, so there's also trails up here, but I mean, cows come back here, right? And they make trails all over the place. And then on this guy, just for a little fun, There's some cougar marks. You can see the big claws. Yeah, cougars love this open kind of poplar area. Birch, at least I believe it's poplar and birch. All right, had a little break. So now I'm gonna head back down this and down there. Come down here just a bit. I think this is even better. This is a nice view right here. Just the way the sun hits it and everything. As far as the foothills goes, that's about as nice as you can get. Well, there was a marker down in this valley, but this little thing, but it's so faded it's almost useless. I didn't see it till I was almost on top of it. You see down here there's another orange marker. That's good because there's a very obvious cow trail going down this way. That makes for a bit of confusion. I gotta say, this trail has used my trail finding skills a lot more than I expected. Price camp and that, I don't remember that being tough at all to figure out, so yeah. Well, finally, this is what was advertised, you know. Jillian talks about how this trail is a nice walk, and finally it is, you know, after a lot of forest walking today. This almost goes and joins up with the Coal Creek that I was on earlier, but instead you break off to the right and I can see just barely a little diamond over there, so you gotta be wary of that. Looks like I got something to deal with down here. In my experience, you do not want to walk on stuff like that. That's all colored and stuff. That is not good. I'm gonna go back here and see if there's someplace I can hop across. Or maybe it's pretty solid ice. Actually, it looks like pretty solid ice. Remember, this has got more shade than that over there. That's more in the open, so. Actually, the ice was solid up to about, except about here-ish. It started to crack, so I just jumped on there and over here. Worked out. I find it pretty neat how the cows do this. You know, it's just little lines of trails the whole way so that they can get at the grass. And then when there's snow on them, you can see it like this. It makes for a neat effect. Broken out again. All right, go down here, around there. Wow. Starting to recognize things. That is Spalding Point. That's the very end of Green Mountain, and I came down, I sidestepped all the way down that. So the goal is to go and tag myself where I did Green Mountain. So you can see it. Not a bad shot from here, you know, like it looks kind of cool. Just a couple of trees standing up. Oh, this is awesome right here though. Sheesh. So cool. Very nice little hike through that. Just been following cow trails and it just led me to this, so I haven't gone astray. Up ahead there's a few different ways to get through. A little bit confusing, so figure that out. Right now it's just easy to just walk along this, and you can see I'm getting closer and closer to Spalding Point over there. Okay, so back there you cross a marker sticking up, and then you get to this. So I started walking down this cow trail, but it's like curving over here. I don't want that. I think I want to go down there, cross this little side creek, and then I think I'm going to try and stay up high here and see how that works. This is the tricky part that Jill talks about, right? There's 3 different ways through. One of them crosses 5 times, one of them crosses 2, one of them crosses 0. Let's definitely try the 0 one to start with. All right, so this is the first thing. I've come down to the bottom of that steep little side hill. Jill says you have to cross this. There's no getting around it, so figure this out. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. All right. Okay. Okay, now what? Okay, I was just standing back there. If you want to cross 0, you climb up and follow that. I have not had even a slight cracking on any crossing. Here's the first crossing. So I guess why not take advantage, right? I mean, if the crossings are safe, yeah, why go climb? All right. Okay. All right. I mean, even if I fell through that, it's, you know, talking about maybe a foot of water at most. All right, let's go figure this out some more. Climbed a little ridge, came back down, did the second crossing. You can see there's a little orange diamond there. Now I could climb up there and have no more crossings. But hell, I am the adventurous type, so why the hell not go and do 5 crossings? I will go down here and do the original trail. It's clearly built only for horses, because who would build 5 crossings into a trail? All right, there's another one. The other one I didn't put on camera because it was fairly boring looking. One more. That's it, there's the 5th crossing. Here's where the trails come back together. You can see this little diamond showing where people would normally go who want to only do 2 or even 0. Okay, cool. I think these are wolf tracks. Cougar tracks are usually by themselves. I think this is 3 or 4 wolf. Yeah. Well, I did it. This is where I was when I finished Green Mountain. I just came, Spalding Point, I just came walk down here and just found this spot, the intersection. That's for another day. Well, I put myself in a touch of a bind. I don't think I can get back to the car by dark. Now, I kind of figured on that, but I also don't want to cross Sheep River in the dark like that, right? I found it a little sketchy. Now I'm thinking, great, I'm gonna cross that in the blackness. Now I'm thinking, maybe I'll keep going. I'll go to DYSON Falls, which would be actually kind of a special site. You know, DYSON Falls in the winter, 2 weeks after the winter gates closed, very few people have seen that, right? And then from there, I would turn north and head up along that trail, the Sheep Valley West Trail, whatever it's called, and make my way to the river and cross. And I should be able to do that in the daylight. And then I'll be on the road. And then that'll be a really long road walk. But hey, I would be across the river and I can walk on that road in the dark. Big deal. I think I like that better than walking all the way back too. It's more adventuresome and I think it's actually safer. Except for the fact that I don't have the description of that one trail and I haven't done it. But if all else fails, I'll just find my way to the river some way, somehow, and cross. All right, now that I've made that decision, I feel like I'm a little pressed for time. So I want to walk the 3.1 kilometers to Mount DYSON. Probably a little farther, but it's 3.1 as the bird, as the crow flies. And then from there I turn north. I want to give myself all the time possible to figure out that trail that goes north from there. That's the one. don't know, and I don't even have the description from the guide. So yeah, okay. I've been thinking about this for a while, but this is yeah, this is kind of a big change on the day. I hadn't planned to do stuff like this at all. Well, I underestimate winter hiking. To think that I thought I would start at 11 o'clock all the way down to that intersection, which is probably like 11 kilometers, and then go back and then go up Mount Mcnabb on the way back. Yeah, and now my solution is to walk even farther away from the car so I can find a way back to the river before dark. Oh my. Things I get myself into sometimes. Don't follow me. Don't be totally stupid. Learn from my stuff. Ugh. Well, I was doing some uphill there for a bit, but I'm hoping now to be past that. Nice little area in here. All right. You look up there, you can barely see the trees. I'm hoping that that is just stuff that's been hovering over the mountains for all day. It's not coming here. I hope it doesn't start snowing. I have been absolutely burning rubber. This is when you spend everything in reserve, man. Whatever the strength you have, your back, all that, you just go. And I'm about 500 meters now from Dyson Falls. Whew, all right. Yeah, like 2 minutes after I said, I hope it doesn't snow. Oh well. Honestly, not a big deal. It's just, I just kind of wished it wouldn't. I got other stuff to work with, other stuff to worry about. Well, the snow stopped. This is what's kind of looming, so maybe it'll be back soon enough. I'm down at Dyson Creek. I can hear the falls. It took me about 50 minutes. I worked hard. That's, I don't know, 3.5 kilometers or something, maybe 4. Anyway, and the snow and everything. Go enjoy the falls at least a little bit. I mean, I worked pretty hard to get here. Nice. Oh, wow. All right, careful about the edge. Cool. Not too many people get to see the falls from this side. Very few people have ever seen Dyson Falls when it looks like this. Very, very cool. Oh, the snow just showed up again. Okay, there's the third option for this. It's ugly. It is literally my last resort. I could continue on west and cross the bridge over the Sheep River all the way down where like people normally will climb up to it, like it will go up to Mount Hoffman from there. And then we're talking 3 or 4 hours of road walk. That would be awful. But if I find I just don't like what's happening up this trail, I can do that. I can do it in the dark. Well, I'm not doing too bad. If you're coming back this direction, there's a mystery trail heading up here. But you can see that they have this marked quite nicely. Okay, it hasn't been hard to find. I'm hoping that getting through this will be very easy. There'll be another marker, and that has allowed me to just concentrate on hauling ass. Oh yeah, there it is. Well, I just stopped fooling around with the snow, and now it's really snowing. All right, bring it. All right, I'm at an intersection. So it says to go down there. There's a orange diamond down there. You can see this is a cut line. This is the Sheep River Trail East. But I know that this is a shortcut. It's called Tegley Road, and it goes down to the river. And that's what I want, so I'm just gonna keep going straight. Down to the river, cross the river, and then done. And according to Maps.me, it's about 1 kilometer till I get to the river, and then there's some zigzagging probably to get down to the river. And then I just gotta cross, and as far as I'm concerned, it can get dark, it can snow, it can do everything. That's fine. I just walk back on the road. This is quite the clearing. The only thing about going off of the official trails now is I have no markers to work with, but this trail is on Maps.me. You go down here and then it turns right. So I'll use that. And there we go. A little help from Maps.me. Back on the road. Okay, I'm at the river. Getting to the river is not, you got to find a trail because the banks of this river are like 100 feet high on this side. So this is going to follow the river for a little bit, and then it goes down. So, I mean, this road had to have a way up off the river. So it looks like it's going to be kind of pleasant. Following the river, nothing wrong with that. Too bad for the snow, because this is badass. Isn't this neat? Well, I think I might come back. I'm already planning a loop with Sheep Valley Trail East, which would be shorter than this. So yeah, this would be delightful. Like, look at this. You're right on the banks. These super, super high banks of the Sheep River. Just fantastic. Like, this river cut down a lot. It's crazy. Oh my God, I didn't realize this is where I was. This is, the road is coming down and then it goes right back up and heads down to that valley, and the other road, Gorge Creek, it goes down that valley. All right, I guess that's where I'm coming out. Then I get to climb that on the road. Cool. Down, down, down. Everything's going according to plan. Well, this is an old road, but you actually don't find crap like this on old roads all that often. It's an old fuel drum or something. Huh. Okay, you can see here's the road. There's a massive culvert underneath it for the creek that comes through here. And I just gotta find my way through. Well, problem 1. Where do I get across this thing? Problem 2. How do I get up that to get to the road? Well, one problem at a time. I feel like maybe down there might be my best option. This is a lot of water, man. How come I feel like there's more water? Well, there is way more water here than there was down there. Down there it was much more frozen. Like, look at this. It's just flowing right on top of the ice. Okay. This pretty much seems to be my only trail of white across this thing. I think this water is on top of ice, which makes it really slippery. Like, I don't think there's anything slippery, more slippery than that. Okay. This could be very, very interesting. Yeah. Jeez. I almost want to go down there and cross where I know I'm not going to fall through. And maybe here. Oh, gotta figure this out. I broke through. Son of a bitch. Joke's on me. I went out of my way to come and do the crossing the Sheep River in the daylight because I thought it'd be safer, and then I end up at a much worse crossing. Right there, I was just trying to get over here and I broke through down to my knees, and then I kind of fell forward and got my arms and like part of my waist. I tried to step up again, that broke through, so I just army crawled over here and then just crossed because this is what I wanted to get to, right? I knew that I wasn't gonna break through this. I mean, I should never get my arms wet. Son of a bitch. All right. Ugh. Well, you know, I'll save the phone. Talk about it more when I get back to the car. I'm pretty much wet from just below the crotch down. I fell forward a little bit and got my elbows in there, my hands. Yeah. Would have been easier just to cross, you know, knee-high stuff without actually breaking through that. Yeah. Anyway. 2 hours, 45 minutes on that road. I'm obliterated. I'm not even entirely sure what happened with that ice. I mean, I fell through. I think I might have fallen on at least one knee, maybe both. I got up. I pushed myself up with my poles. You know, it happened pretty fast. I tried to put another foot onto the ice. That broke through, and then I got a little smarter and got my knees up and crawled up, and then the ice was happy with that. But, I mean, you know, this is, I guess you can't really see too well, but it made a perfect little frozen cover around that fanny pack that I had. What an insane day. That was, oh my God, an example of what not to do. Just to do a 7.5 kilometer piece of trail. Like, wow, that must have been 30 kilometers, maybe more. There's something to be said for, you know, you crossed something once and it was solid and, you know, not too bad. There's something to be said for going back, because it makes no sense that 8-9 kilometers up the trail, up the Sheep River, it's not frozen. But here it is. Oh yeah, there's some more damage that happened when I fell. Anyhow, gave me a lot of time to think about it. Lessons learned, you know. All the times I have walked on ice, this is the first time I've actually paid the price. So at least I was smart enough to walk on something I knew wasn't going to be deep. Right? So there's that. My God. At the moment, I am so happy that it's my policy to have my runners and a dry pair of socks. And I'm going to take off everything else that has frozen, wet, and so I'm going to drive home basically in my long underwear. And yeah, because of course once it thaws out in here, it's just going to make a lot of other things wet all over again, right? Wow. Okay. Learn from my mistakes. Get out there and hike.